he's saying is finishing, like.
I've already started recording, so.
You didn't wait for everybody to say they were here.
But we are live right now. See, it's been about, what, 3 weeks since we played?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, that seems right.
So I guess we all need a quick reminder. Y'all had defeated the ice golem, drug it to the city of Laff, stole its femur and its middle finger, left it in a jail cell with the warder for the town, and then made your way to the Bear's Den where there was some drinking and enjoyment, and then everybody bedded down for the evening, correct?
Yep, I think that pretty much covers everything that happened last night.
And you were told that you could take the skeleton to Feldberg's or to a Dr. Weens who lives next to the Hook and Stave Inn. So we will start bright and early. Still, well, I shouldn't say bright. It's still dark outside. Probably about 6 a.m., but again, especially moving this much further north now, it is still much darker, and there's less and less light. So what does the party wish to do as you wake up and have your hearty breakfast at the Bear's Den?
Novak is sitting at the table, eating his breakfast, and his spell book out and just going over a few spells, while Dr. Hopkins is also on the table eating what passes for a vegetable.
It's some type of root vegetable. You're not sure if it's a turnip or a really pale carrot, but he seems to like it. Nobody has suffered the wrath of Dr. Hopkins yet. What is Olabella doing?
Eat breakfast. Figuring out which guy should we take it to?
Well, what's our next move? I guess what we need to decide. We're selling the golem, I think, was the plan, and getting some money from that. We need to track down the guy that we're looking for. I can't remember what his name was.
You're looking for the Alderman.
That's right, the Alderman.
Old Petey.
Yeah, Alderman Petey Swidden.
I'm going to go check on the dog.
The dogs are fine. Little bored. Your special pup. Let's see, where did I put these names at? Moose has somehow managed to chew through part of the back wall. Aristotle is judging him, and the other two dogs like there's food soon, right?
Definitely feed them, and I retie Moose away from anything he could chew.
He's just as happy as can be.
Izanami, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was you.
On Chris's server, Langston's little brother, we call that pulling a gizmo because Giz always forgets that he's muted. Also, Em, would you post out on the Twitter that we've gone live?
We should go see the doctor, yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to study that thing, eh? Didn't you?
You see eyeballs beneath the mask starting left. Yes, of course.
So, wait a minute.
Make sure everybody that you got it on set up for push to talk. But what'd you say,
I think
Olabella?
everybody is. We were just all talking at once.
Okay, so what was it y'all were saying then?
I was saying there were two people to take it to. Doctor and somebody.
You could take it to Feldberg's, which seems to be a type of sutlery at the center of town. Or you could take it to Dr. Weens, who lives next to the Hook and Stave. Feldberg's was the large multi-story building at the center of town. The Hook and Stave was a two-story tavern that you passed getting to the Bear's Den.
What do you guys think would be the best place to take it?
I'm not sure.
The doctors, of course.
What's a doctor going to do with it exactly?
Well, what's the sutlery gonna do with it?
We're all concerned with, I think, cash money. So, who do you think could pay the most for it?
Every turn.
What was that, Langston?
I said I'd come back. Just so let's speak to Alderman. I don't know. I was just making sure I could hear this conversation.
You probably hear the tail end of what's being said as you come walking up.
Oh, I'm down to sell it myself. Would you need any part of that? On this land? You think you want out of it?
I mean, they'll probably all buy it. We just are not sure who we should.
Let's see who pays best. Let's talk to them. Let's negotiate.
Arthur, two of us can go to the doctor. Two of us can go to the sutlery and, see who has better price.
Well, I'll go with somebody and I'll look intimidating in the background, but I'm not, negotiation really not my forte, you know what I mean? I'm down to go to either.
No.
What I was asking is, who has the highest persuasion? We only have two.
I got a 1.
I forgot to open my character sheet now. Persuasion? I got a +1. My charisma's not that good.
I was persuaded too back then. I was a night fairy.
That's right.
So, maybe we should go to both with Izanami in the forefront and see what they're willing to give us.
Or good me.
The doctor's
Okay.
first, then. I need to make sure he doesn't have the sickness.
So what? Oh yeah, that thing you were telling us about.
Yes.
David, I'm good.
To the doctors then.
All right. So is the party in agreement that you will now go to see Dr. Weens in his offices?
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, so if you'd like to move your tokens to the building just north of the Hook and Stave, which is the building right there. Okay, we have connection again. So you all make it to Dr. Weens' office. It's kind of short for a one-story building. It definitely looks nice, and as you walk by, it says Dr. Weens, surgeon, physician, soothsayer, veterinarian, and tax prepper.
Covering his bases, I see.
There is a large round door that has a handle that is up high, but as you look, there's also a smaller door, probably only about maybe 1.5 feet high, maybe 2 feet high, that has another little handle at the bottom of this larger round door.
Look, go back. It's a U-size entrance.
We're sure that it was a good idea to pick him up in the snow, right?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway, well, if it's a me-sized door,
You'd have to duck to go through the smaller door, Novak. Like I said, it's not quite 2 feet high.
are we looking at like a doggy door?
That's kind of what you're getting from this. Like it might be a doggy door, but it does have a handle.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
What was that?
No, there was a bigger door.
There's a large round door, think like Hobbit door, and then at the bottom there's a smaller version of that door on the door. This is doorception.
Can I fit in there, or would it be?
You'd fit in there. Everybody can fit in. Like Olabella might have to hunch if you were to enter this building. It's just the building's shorter than a normal one-story building. Like other than Feldberg's at the center of town on the Hook and Stave, you're pretty sure the rest of this town was built by whoever lives in the building.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I guess I enter.
Okay, you open the door. Ahead of you is probably a 10 by 10 foot room. There's some chairs. There's a door on the far side with a little counter in front of it, but you notice there's a little set of, it's like a ramp with a slot every so often across it that looks like it's meant to help with traction that goes up to it. And there's a little brass bell on this old tarnished dark wood counter. There's also a scattering of chairs in this room.
I guess this is a waiting room.
I say hello. Is anybody home?
No responses. But you do notice as you look around the room, you do see a poster that has like a displacer beast hanging from a branch that just says "Hang in there."
Try ringing the bell.
Is there like a desk or anything like that?
There's a counter on the far side of the room near the door with a little brass bell on it.
I am gonna ring the bell. Not once, not twice, but multiple times.
Okay, so Izanami just walks over and starts ringing the bell like ding, 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 ding.
Oh yeah, that's gonna help us out a lot.
And you notice that a little door opens in the bigger door at the back of the room, and you see a little dachshund wearing a red cape come out the little door, kick it closed with its back leg, go up the ramp, and sit down on the counter, and then look at you. How can I help you? I am Dr. Weens.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Yes, I am adorable. You may get belly rubs later after business is done, but first business.
I'm gonna stare at him and ding the bell one more time.
The little weenie dog looks at you. That was totally unnecessary, and I'm going to eventually ask you to leave my establishment, I am sure. But you are a large group. How can I help you?
Right, yes. I'm not used to talking to the dog. We have something in our possession that might interest you. And your progenitor? Owner? Master?
I am my own master. I have a doctorate.
He's a doctor.
I am Dr. Weens. Okay, let's get this out the way so that there are no annoying questions. No, I have not always been as this adorable. I was once a half-orc. This is what happens when you lose at wizard battle and your opponent has true polymorph.
Oh, now it makes.
I have made a good life for myself here. Which of my services do you use? Again, do not get pets unless I ask for them or if business has been finished.
As I was saying, we have something that might interest you. It is mostly the remains of what used to be a golem. Very
High school.
You see the
my compatriots have verified.
Nelvac, what were you gonna say?
I'm just hyping up, saying high quality.
You see the two little brown patches above his eyes go up, forming a interested look.
Yes. Where are my manners? Please, excuse me for just a moment. My name is illustrious, and it would be awful of me not to even show you a bit of what I have come to show you. I'm just going to lay the femur down on the desk next to him. This is my particular piece. However, we have many other options should you elect to view them. But this is just more of a marketing size sample of what we have in our inventory.
The little dog nods, and you see the amulet that's holding his little red cape together glow. He goes, "Ah, yes, you're not lying. This is a bit of an ice golem, an old one. It has some enchantments on it, most of which aren't useful now that it's dead. But the materials I can give you something for. Now, are you looking to trade? You looking to sell? Or are you looking to offer this to me for one of my services? Looking at you, I assume you don't have. I doubt any of you have ever paid taxes.
No, we were chopping around for a ladder, eh?
So adventurers. Okay. So show me the whole thing. Take me with you. You, big lady. You can carry me. I have tiny little legs and the snow is deep.
Okay.
You get
Back in my backpack.
You get exactly 3 scratches of my head and 1 tummy rub. You do more than that, I bite.
Deal.
I'm thinking cat.
He is a half-orc accent, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Shall we show him the goods?
Sure. She kind of leans over, shall we stop at the other place on the way through, or wait to see it?
What other place are you talking about stopping at?
Well, like I said, we were kind of shopping around. We were gonna see if you were interested, and maybe if someone else. What was the place called? The Hook and Stuff?
Hook and Stave is a inn. Why would they want a magical skeleton?
Or what it was called? Philbergs, something like that. I don't know.
You hear a low growl. You hear a low growl come from the dachshund. Failed bugs.
Please don't bite me, eh?
I will not. But do not mention the failed bugs with me. They are terrible people.
Okay. What? Are they the reason you're a pup?
No. That is someone else's fault. I just don't like them. They always try to steal my thunder.
Noted.
He does a frizzy cape toss and then, okay, show me.
I will pick him up and carry him.
Okay, so y'all make your way to... I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Izanami?
If I remember right, it was building just after the covered market. We have it stored in a cell there.
Okay, that is correct. I forgot which building I had denoted as the guardhouse because I didn't write it on the map. So...
He's right here.
Okay. So you make it to the guardhouse. You get in. You see Jerry, and you see the warder, Fire Ganassi, who is standing as close to the fire as he can be without catching his clothes on fire. They're the only two that are downstairs for now.
Oh, hey there. Yeah, we were coming to see the thing. We left here last night.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, thank you for the tea. It was good. It's cleared up a little bit of this. Jerry, go get out the thing. And you see Jerry quickly hustle over to the cage, open it, and then just start dragging this skeleton way bigger than him out. And the little dog hops off onto the counter and starts looking. Good. So you have the femur. Looks like it's a whole body minus a finger, but those break off. Are you willing to now entertain deal making? Do you want barter or do you want coin?
Hey guys, hold on. You want to see what he has to barter? You can always say we get coin after. He doesn't have anything.
No, digital coin.
I mean, I'm easy. I'm along with the group. I was just thinking any man who can accidentally turn himself into a dog or be turned into a dog must have some interesting stuff.
Well, what's our options one way or the other?
Okay, so what you're looking at here is a 12-foot skeleton made out of a mix of rune-engraved iron, ethereum-laced steel, and a tiny bit of platinum. Also trace amounts of gold and other elements. That is what makes up this skeleton. Deep inside that noggin, there is a sapphire that functions as its brain. That sapphire is as big as my little doggy skull. So if you're talking coin, I can offer you about 600 gold. If you're looking to barter, I have items that you might be interested in. It all depends. I can go ahead and guarantee you, if you go to Feldberg's, what they're going to offer you are fancy soft blankets and snuggies. And a chance for a vacation to the Halfling Archipelago way down in the south. So, you want gold or you want to see what I have to barter?
Do you want to see what he has?
He'll back those money.
How do you feel, Yuzigami? I know I said your name wrong, but I'm Paul.
What does he have?
What do you have to barter if we say we went that route, even though Nidlack's pretty much leaning coin?
Look y'all up and down. Looks like you have been cold and moving for a very long time. I have a carriage that is heated and self-driving.
That's pretty tempting there.
I don't use the big one. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Before falling out, Nidlack, you wouldn't have to worry about rolling out in the sled.
I broke it for McKim. What is he offering?
It's a sled that's self-driving and heated.
Oh, that is pretty awesome.
Can we see it before we, make a decision there?
Yes, you'll have to still carry me because, again, small legs.
I can do that.
Is there anything else that you might know?
I'm literally offering you a snow carriage for that.
That's a pretty good deal considering where we are, But let's go see it and see if it's what we want to trade for.
Okay.
I'm a shrug.
Okay, so if you carry him back to his house, he'll point you to go around back, and there's kind of a small livery back there. In one of the... Oh, yeah, y'all have a moose. I forgot. Y'all still have the moose. Well, the moose is in a different stall from all the dogs that you have back at the inn.
Come on. I'll worry about that later.
But you...
Hey, we got retweeted.
What'd you say?
Got retweeted by an account called Retweet Small Streams.
Awesome.
Cool.
But you get around and you see that there's 3 stalls on this livery off the back of his business. One of them has a very small, like Nilvac could probably fit in it, slightly uncomfortably sized carriage that does not have any type of tackle or reins attached to it. That is my new one. That is the one I use now because this is not going away. Next one, you just see this elk chewing on something. That is Vivi. She also lost at a wizard battle against the same opponent. I felt bad, so she lives here. She has not figured out how to get her mind back. That is a job for another Dr. Weens day. Last one is my carriage, Esmeralda. And what you see before you is it looks like a large stagecoach that has wheels that are lifted up off the ground and sled skis underneath it. It does look outside like there could be a spot for someone to sit on the front. And it has 2 sets, on each side there are sort of double doors that kind of suicide door swing open. It goes, it is nice, it is comfortable. If, Esmeralda, move forward, please. And you see the whole carriage slide out of the livery. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It is dark wood with some gold trim painted on it. You can see curtains behind glassed windows. And there seems to be a chest mounted to the back of it that can hold stuff. So this is Esmeralda. You may open doors and look inside and see what you think.
All right. Well, I'm going to go kind of inspect it. I'm going to do a walk around inspection.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I'm gonna do the same. But I'm gonna look inside.
15.
Okay, with the 15. Okay, with the 15 on the outside, there's no rot. It's pretty decent. It's in pretty decent shape. The trunk definitely locks and is part of the main body of the carriage, not something that can be removed. The area where people could sit outside have nice cushions, and when you touch them, Langston, they're warm. So there's heated seats.
I'm going to check out what it looks like inside.
Okay, so when you look inside with Olabella, which you'll both notice, the inside is slightly bigger than the outside. Not by much. It's probably about a 10-foot square room inside the carriage with soft seats, an area it looks like you could place a bar if you wish to have a drink. A small orb sits on a pedestal in the middle of this next to a seat. And everything in here is fairly comfortable.
I'm gonna let the party check it out, but I'm gonna give them a thumbs up.
Are there seatbelts?
What the fuck is a seatbelt?
See, we have someone in our group who is constantly falling off, and conditions that you fall off.
Yeah, but there's doors, so he wouldn't fall out unless the doors flew open.
That's what right. I'm just
It's self-driving, though.
It's self-driving. Nilvac is going to check out the means of propulsion.
Okay, give me. Are you just like trying to look for it, or how are you trying to devise the means of?
I'm trying to devise how this thing moves forward. I can either investigate or I can arcana it. If it's magic, just whatever you decide to.
Well, I would say that Nilvac is smart enough with being a wizard and seeing that this little tiny dog that obviously does wizard battles said he made this and then went, Esmeralda, move forward, and the whole thing moved out for him without any horse or other beast of burden to move it. You're pretty sure this is a magical means of propulsion, so if you want to try to devise it, go ahead.
Okay, I'll roll an arcana on this.
Okay, with a 19, Nilvac, what you do is you walk over to the crystal in the center of the cab of this carriage. You notice that they're underneath the plush floor. There seems to be this little brass ring. As you lift it up and you look in, you can see a bright blue stone lodged into a series of woven wires, cylinders, and you can even see what looks like a couple of pistons fire back and forth, about 8 pistons in a device back and forth. You're realizing this thing has a V8 arcane engine.
Oh, dang. Guys, we may want to take it.
Well, how do you make it go?
Well, it responds to my commands. One person can attune to it if you decide to take it from me. It'll respond to a few commands like come, forward, back, stop. Also, anyone that sits in that chair and places their fingers on the orb will be able to see outside and be able to drive it simply by thought.
Anybody or just the person attuned to it?
Well, this will probably be the one that's attuned to it, yes.
This seems like a pretty good deal, guys. What are we going to do with it?
Yeah, Nilvac agrees.
What are we going to do with the dogs, though?
Sell the dogs.
Dr. Weens glares at you disapprovingly, Nilvac.
You are a wizard who is inconvenienced for the
You have puppies.
We have sled dogs that brought us up here.
Bring me your puppies and your old sled. Maybe I can do a little bit more for you. I don't like the idea of selling dogs.
No, me neither. You know, that's why I was saying, what are we gonna do? But we can bring them here and we can see.
I agree. We should not be so willing to get rid of good puppies.
I mean, I kind of got a thing going with them, eh? You know, because I talk to them so much.
And the moose.
We got the moose is a new addition. I find it weird we still got the moose, but you know, we can bring them here.
The moose, we can figure something out. Maybe you can talk to it, Bella. But I definitely don't want to get the moose, so our little guy.
How did we get the moose?
Bruce befriended the moose, I believe.
Now we have a moose. With the moose. So we can have mooses while we moose.
Well, why don't we go get him and bring him here and he can tell us what he can do, eh?
I'll go do that. I'm like, you want me to go handle it? I can take care of it real quick.
I'll go with you. Just
Alright. It's probably good to have you do it for the year.
So do you just put down Dr. Weens, Olabella?
I'm gonna ask him if it's okay for me to put him down.
You can put me down, but put me down near the barrel. The snow is not as deep.
Do I get my scritches?
You can take 3 scritches.
Yay.
And as you put him down after the scritches, he just down the snow. I was wrong about depth of snow.
I'm picking him up when I put him back on top of the bear.
Thank you. Little shake and gets all the snow off. Are the rest of y'all going to stay with him as they go get the dogs, or are y'all going to go do something else?
Well, I'll put it to the party that we know, okay, so if we don't go through with this deal, we have our way of getting around, but where are we going? We need to try to track down where the Alderman is.
Oh shoot, we kind of found out something, didn't? I can't remember anything. Didn't we hear some guys talking at was it the Bears Den we heard them talking? Or was that back in the last place we were at?
I believe that was in the last place you were at.
So we had a heading, it was like northeast?
It was it's northeast, and y'all have gone a little bit northwest to make it to Laff to get away from the ice golem.
So we kind of figured out we needed to go northeast. But it's such a big area up there, we're just kind of going in that direction to see what we find. I don't think we had anything more specific than that, did we?
Nope.
I thought we were still searching, but we'll figure it out.
Well, we're still searching. We kind of had a direction to go, but that was about all we had to go on. So we went to this town because it was the closest town we could find, but we know we need to head more towards the northeast because that's where they saw people like who had taken the Alderman going.
So, 2 of y'all are going back to get the dogs. What are our other 2 party members doing?
I'm going to ask about town and see if anybody has heard about the Alderman and if there's any leads that we can pick up.
Okay, So you have the Hook and Stave, Feldberg's, the Covered Market that you could go to, as well as just, there's not a whole lot of people wandering around town at this time. See, Izanami, what are you going to do?
I'll get the dogs.
Okay, so three of y'all are getting dogs. One's going to look around. Okay, so we'll handle Neilvac first.
I'd like to start with the Hook and Stave. I figured that if anybody had come into town, that the inn would be the first place that they would want to go.
Okay, so as you enter the Hook and Stave, it's a 2-story, larger building. There is an open gallery in the front area and seating. Very nice decor. Nice thick carpets. 2 rather large burning fireplaces. One has a bullet's head mounted above it. The other one has a series of dire wolves mounted above it. All the people in here are very well dressed, especially for this far north. And across this room, there is a penguin Aarakocra behind the counter, looking through a tally book.
Is that really, really Pebble Pincher?
It is not really Tum Tum's Pebble Pincher. And it's not really, really Pebble Pincher. It's just just another penguin Aarakocra.
Okay. I will go over to the penguin Aarakocra and I will introduce myself as Neilvac the Magnificent. And I'm looking for someone who may have passed through this town, and I try to give the description of the Alderman to the best of my memory.
The Aarakocra looks has to lean over the counter to see you because they're not very big either, and adjust a small set of glasses that are mounted on their beak. I've never met anyone that meets that description. I mean, this is a very high-class establishment. We probably wouldn't have any of them. You see that one over there and points its flipper? That one's a duke coming up here to do whale fishing. Tried to explain to him you can't fish for mammals and you shouldn't hunt whales, but he's rich and said he didn't have to listen.
That is true. But be that as it may, if you haven't seen anybody at the description, if somebody was passing through this town of less than reputable repute, where would they go?
The Bear's Den or the Covered Markets.
Ah. Then I will check the Bear's Den. Thank you for your services.
You're welcome. Have a nice day. And goes back to doing what they were doing. Emily, how do you do that voice? I cannot do that voice.
Because it's adorable.
Okay, so Neilvac, you are going this way. We will now go to the rest of the party. I will say that the dogs are not going to resist. The moose just kind of is following behind you, and everybody's looking around like the opening of Northern Exposure. There's just a moose walking through the middle of the street. You do not succeed in taming the moose. You succeed in not getting bit by the moose.
Bella, can you talk to the moose?
Yeah, I can.
Would you speak to the moose for me?
Yeah, I can cast speak with animals. What do you want me to?
Just ask him why it's following us. Tell him we're happy it's following us. We want it to follow us.
Why was it following us in the first place?
It just showed back up with your dog Moose.
Moose was our dog Moose was a goofball, and apparently he liked that.
That's right. Alright, I will cast speak with animals and I say, hey, so how come you're sticking around with us? Not that we mind. We were just kind of wondering why you had, run off to go do your moosey thing by yourself or anything. Why you were kind of sticking with us.
You're sweet one, Moose.
Yeah, I know, but, there a reason you're following us still, or is there something we should know?
Je suis un moose.
Yeah, you're moose. Do I need to speak moose? Because I'm just speak with that.
Oui. Nods. I am Pierre. I am the moose of the north. I follow Little Moose because he told me he was Little Moose.
Well, that's his name, but you know he's a dog.
Hey, if you'd like a carrot.
Well, my friend wants to know if you'd like a carrot.
I'm pulling the carrot out.
Oui.
He says yes.
I hold it out for him. And I softly pat his neck.
You see the moose do that weird thing like moose and horse do with the lip like being used like trying to grab something, and it's like weird for a second because it's like can't quite get it right at first, and then just gets the carrot and starts chewing on it happily. It does not mind you petting it.
So it says it's just following Moose the dog because he said he was Little Moose.
Let's keep talking to him and see if he can be helpful. I know you don't want to spend all your spell slots every day. We can.
Yeah. So okay. So what does it mean that you're the Moose of the North?
That is just what I call myself. Yeah, Moose of the North.
You have like magic or anything like that, or is that just a cool title?
He goes, well, I have magic. And he just rolls his head. You see it do like the little bit of a moose mane it has flutters in the wind, and it stares at you with these piercingly bright eyes. Wow. The moose is trying to smolder.
I'm sure that works great on the lady moose. Female moose.
Oui.
Okay, well, I mean,
But
you were just kind of wondering.
I am here to teach him how to be a real moose. For he is small. He needs to be taught. Like all little moose.
But he's a dog. Like, woof woof, I'm a puppy dog. That's what our moose is, though.
Moose said he was moose. I teach him to moose.
But that's his name, though. He doesn't have, the hooves and the antlers and the big. He's not gonna get any bigger. He's a full-grown pupper.
Out of character, I'm going to let you know that if you continue this line, it's going to be like another 10 minutes of just circular, but moose is a moose.
Yeah.
You thought the moose to see.
He wants to teach Moose to be a moose, so he's following Moose around. That's what I'm getting.
That's fine. Tell him he's welcome, but just like Moose pulls his way, he's got to his.
But I mean, you're welcome to keep following us, just so long as you don't mind maybe helping out now and again.
Not that problem. And he just starts following you again.
Okay, we got a moose friend.
But after a little bit, y'all get the moose and your dogs and the sled back to Dr. Weens, who's still standing on the barrel, casting prestidigitation on himself to stay warm because he was left on the barrel and everybody just left this little polymorph dachshund wizard in the snow.
You could have asked me to take it back inside and I would have. I thought someone was staying behind or something. I forgot that we all left.
He looks at you. I need down, but down in my house near door.
Yeah, okay.
The risk of sounding like a total asshole, like some jerky.
Yes.
So after he's inside, I'll get.
Okay, so you have dogs. I see 4 sled dogs and You have a moose.
We have a moose. He kind of is following our dog named Moose because he thinks he's an actual moose and he used to teach him the moose. It's weird. But he's...
We like our moose.
Both of them. They're both cool. But we'd like to keep them with us if possible, so how can you help us?
I was going to say I can watch them for you while you keep going further north, because
Okay.
I was going to say that because someone said sell dogs. I don't like that. That just is wrong. I can watch them or foster them.
Okay, that'd be good. Then, I'd probably still have to speak with animals up, so I'd turn to all of them like, hey guys, little bit of a change of plans. We gotta go, off on our own for a bit, but Dr. Weens here, he's gonna take care of you guys, okay? He's a good, guy. And, he's gonna watch after you, alright? So you need to be good for him, yeah?
Moose looks at you. We're being put up for adoption.
No, we're coming back. We just don't want you guys, we want you guys to be safe, and it's gonna be kind of dangerous, so we need to move through it quick, and you guys are super, super quick. But we want to make sure you stay safe, too. So when we come back through, we'll come back and get you, okay?
Cheesecake, they're putting us up for adoption. Cheesecake, no! And at the same time,
No.
y'all see Aristotle. I understand. I will explain. They're stupid.
Thank you, Aristotle.
Can I eat the moose?
I kneel down in front of Moose and Cheesecake, and I grab them both by the face and I'm coming back. I promise, eh?
Just sad husky noises.
I promise. Talk to Aristotle. He's cool. He's cool with it. Everything's fine. I'll be coming back. And Moose, he's gonna teach you the moose. And I pointed to people because Pierre's gonna be a new friend, and he's gonna teach you stuff. Okay?
The moose just has actually walked into the building with y'all. It's knocking shit around with its antlers.
Pierre, don't mess up the dog's place, eh?
Y'all then see Dr. Weens start yipping at this full-grown moose, and it just staggers back outside, shocked.
Yeah, he's a tough thing. Okay, guys, so it's gonna be cool. You're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be like a big sleepover, and we'll be back to get you. I promise.
Moose, okay. Could you bring back a rabbit?
I will try to find a rabbit for you.
Yay, I love you. So Dr. Weens will watch your dogs and the moose and your old sled, and you now have the awesome, fast-moving sled Esmeralda. And we will flip back to Nilvac. Nilvac, you're walking down the main street. Are you gonna stop in Fieldberg's, or are you just gonna go down to the covered market?
When I pass Fieldberg's, is anything that catches my eye?
Give me a perception check. Not much. I mean, there's a couple of vending machines out in front of it. Kind of look like novelty type things. There's some mannequins in the windows showing off winter fashion. There's a couple of weapons that you can see on the back wall, but nothing that just jumps out right at your, I need that.
Okay. Well, nothing's catching my attention, really. I'm just going to keep on going.
Okay. So if you want to move your character token to the covered market, first thing is when you get into the covered market, the first thing you remember is that this thing was closed up the night before, but there's several large, heavy wooden doors that are opened, and inside this building is literally just an open market square, but it's been put into a slightly heated building. Like, you can see that there are pipes that are connected to a big vat that's above some water that's boiling along one of the walls that's basically using thermal heat to keep everything kind of tolerable. I mean, it's not really warm, but it's not cold like it is outside. And there are several stalls and even what look like a couple of tents that are pitched up in here.
Okay. I'm gonna start hunting for clues.
Okay, give me an investigation check, or are you just looking around generally, or are you like trying to look to see if like you see halfling footprints type thing?
Well, seems like there's a lot of traffic in this area, so I doubt that I'd be able to find halfling footprints. Have I noticed any halflings in the area?
There's been a couple halflings in town, but remember the alderman was kidnapped. So wherever he was, it was not by his own choice.
Right, probably wouldn't be walking around. So no need to really look for footprint. I'm going to go. Let me see. I'm looking for I'm looking for a stall of a merchant, either a gnome or a halfling, if there's one available. And I'm going to try and chat them up, and I'm going to ask them if they've seen anybody by this.
Okay. Give me with an 11 perception check. I mean, it's not really hard. Like, honestly, most of the people in here look like fishermen, and they're either humans or half elves, half orcs. There's a couple of Goliaths, very, very heavy furs and leather armor, very nomadic tribesman-looking Goliaths. So finding gnomes and halflings, it's kind of easy because they stand out because they're just nowhere near as big as anything else in this room. And there is a rather wild-looking halfling in one of the back stalls underneath what looks like a kind of a walrus hide tent that he has over his little table of wares.
Yep, he looks friendly. That's from
So you're going to make your way over to the halfling?
Yep.
Okay. As you make it to his table, it's like, hi sir. How can I help you? What would you like? I have wares, I have bones, I have things dug up from the ice shelf in the bottom of the sea floor.
I'm new in town and I'm looking for a little bit of information. I'm trying to locate someone who was kidnapped.
Someone that's been kidnapped. I don't actually seem to see that anywhere on my table. But this frog, and he slides this little, what looks like a frog carved out of some type of bone. This little frog might have seen something.
I see. Let me take a look. You mind if I take it?
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead, sir. Inspect the little frog.
All right. I will pick up the frog.
It is without even doing a check, man, this is not magical. This is literally some type of scrimshaw frog, carved either from a walrus tusk or a whalebone. You're kind of getting the hint he wants you to buy it, and he'll give you some info.
This is excellent quality. What are you selling this for?
3 silver.
All right. I'll pass him over 3 silver.
And he goes, if you're talking about someone that's been kidnapped, there's a group of human barbarians that came through the other day. I didn't quite see the direction they moved, and he starts sliding what looks like a little bone whale towards you.
Okay. I see, yes. Tell me about this whale.
Oh, it travels far. Off to the northeast. Travels far to the northeast.
Northeast, you say?
There's an old... In fact, this one right here, He's carved after the great white whale. Maybe his story will be a little bit easier to tell if he found a home.
Maybe. Maybe. What do you think, Mr. Frog? And that's when I will cast Minor Illusion to make the frog talk. Just make him say, "Yeah, you should go ahead and buy the way."
The halfling nods and just kind of claps. It's not his first rodeo to see someone use magic, is kind of what you're picking up.
Yeah, I'm just playing around here at this point. How much is the whale?
Another 2 silver.
Done. Here you are, sir.
That whale, modeled after the great white whale, that still goes through the seas up here. They say he's a demigod, a leviathan, from an age past. He likes to sink ships, and many of his victims end up in Floken, semi-floating nomadic city that those barbarians like to go to and make a base. Because even when the Jotun shelf melts, it stays afloat and together.
There's a floating city out there, and when the ice caps freeze over, they come down.
Aye.
And what's this about a leviathan?
He slides you what looks like a little dagger that's encased in bone.
Oh shit, yeah. How much is that?
4 gold.
A little bit expensive for me there, buddy. I could trade you. Could you lower the price if I happen to give you this frog and whale that I found?
He just smiles. Aye. 5 silver.
All right, I'll hand him back the scrimshaw frog and the whale. Pay him 5 silver. Pick up the knife.
It's not a dagger. It is literally just a knife. So if you were to use it as a weapon, it's a D2 additional damage. But it is a very ornate carved bone sheath and bone handle on this. You can tell it's reused iron or reused steel. It's been repurposed and reforged. But it's still very beautiful in the fact of where it's coming from. Like, this guy that you're talking to, if he could get proper training, would be an excellent smith and craftsman.
Interesting. So what's this about a leviathan?
I can't believe you haven't heard of him. The great white whale. Size of 10 ships, its mouth opens and it swallows half the sea. It's a behemoth. It's the illegitimate child of Tyr, and it roams these seas ever since the world was created. You can't kill it. Many worship it. But now that we have the ice sheet here, it can't come up, so it's taking a nap to save its breath.
So these barbarians worshipped this behemoth.
Probably.
And they've taken a halfling up to their floating city, possibly, is what you're telling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sir, it was wonderful to see your work. And I will bid you adieu.
Have a good one. And as you walk off, you see he picks back up the frog in the well, and he's kind of playing with them.
Okay. While we're walking away, can I look for a small leather strap?
You can find one of those pretty easy for a couple copper.
Ugh. Nilvac is getting broke, son. There. Warning, Nilvac is down to 1 gold, people. 9 silver, 8 copper, but still, not a happy place for a 5th level character to be at.
Are we 5th level?
4th level, 5th level, something.
Okay.
Y'all should all be around.
Anyway.
You should all be around 4th level right now.
Yeah, we had a so bad.
Anyway, I'm going to try to fashion take the leather strap, use the knife I just did, and use it to fashion a small leather harness for it, and I'm going to put that on the back of Dr. Hopkins.
Okay, you see that there's a little loop on the back of the scrimshaw. You can just kind of put the leather through. You're not going to have to cut it necessarily. But now Dr. Hopkins is carrying a very fancy knife.
Yep. That's just in case he needs to have a bitch.
Dr. Hopkins flips the knife out, does 2 damage. Just biting in his teeth like it's Watership Down. Okay, so...
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
unfortunately, I don't think familiars. I think per the rules, I don't think familiars can attack things. But I just love the idea. The mental image of it is of a fluffy blue rabbit wielding a small, what to him would be a large knife.
You know, I will allow Dr. Hopkins to stab a bitch with the fancy scrimshaw knife just because that is funny enough to me to have it happen. Like, the person will not die unless they only had 2 HP, but just a rabbit shanking someone in the foot is hilarious.
Good to know. I will add that to his character sheet.
So after just a little bit, y'all see Nilvac come walking back. Dr. Hopkins now has a knife, and y'all have a magical carriage.
Why does the rabbit have a shank?
I think it's adorable.
Because he might need one.
Fair enough.
Y'all watch as Dr. Hopkins moves his little head back and awkwardly pulls the knife out and just wiggles his head around with it.
We could all have one day and only Dr. Hopkins can save us. You never know.
It's kind of hilarious. Well, we got the thing, and Dr. Weens is going to take care of the animals while we're gone. Did you find anything else out, or?
Apparently, so we are to assume that the people that had kidnapped the Alderman were barbarians from the north. Well, it seems that the barbarians have a city out there where they worship a behemoth that is under the ice.
A behemoth?
That's what I've been told.
Hmm.
Got me, I'm not sure.
So, shall we start looking for signs of a behemoth then?
We need to, he said that it was to the northeast, I believe.
Well, it kind of follows what we found out already.
Yeah. Apparently, there is a floating city out there. It's part of we can reach it via the ice. Why would they meet the Alderman? Why specifically him?
Maybe it wasn't specific. Maybe he was just the one they grabbed.
They snuck into his house and kidnapped him, right?
I think they took him when he was out in the field, wasn't it?
Well, either way, they snuck up on him and took him. They were looking for him specifically.
Yeah, like if it was just for any purpose, they could have kidnapped anybody. But it seems like they specifically went after this guy. What's so special about this Alderman that would send the barbarians to capture them?
I guess we need to bring it.
Anyway, have we spoken to the doctor and procured passage?
Yep.
Y'all just need somebody to attune to the vehicle, and then y'all can start driving it if you wish.
So too. It doesn't matter to me.
I placed my vote on you. Yes.
Though I am quite interested in its usage. Obella has done a very good job in driving us up here, I suppose, and has a better sense of direction.
I kind of thought.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So do y'all all pile into Esmeralda?
Not yet. I would like to go back and talk to the good doctor.
Okay. Is everybody else going to pile up into the carriage while Izanami goes and talks to the good doctor?
And then I'm going to the tomb.
So just go to the covered market real quick if I could.
Okay.
After putting my things on, kind of look around, see if I see anything useful.
Okay, so real quick. So Langston's going to go to the covered market. Izanami's going to talk to the doctor. Olabella's going to attune to the carriage. Nilvac, what are you going to do?
While Obella is attuning to the cart, I am going to be popping up the hood and checking out all of the little fiddly bits that are in there, trying to get a good understanding as to how this thing functions. It's tweaking my artificer background of my gnome, and also the wizard of my gnome. So I'm trying to get a full grasp as to how this thing functions.
Okay, give me an Arcana check because you're the easiest one to resolve right now. Okay, with the 16, you're looking at it, you are amazed. This is wonderful. As you keep looking, you find the manual, and you start reading it over. This is a very advanced arcane engine. You're also, as you look through, you find a document. Apparently, Dr. Weens won this in one of his other wizard battles.
Wait, was this dude street racing?
He got it out of a wizard battle. You never asked him what a wizard battle is.
That's true.
So you're looking at that. Would you like to ask Dr. Weens about his wizarding battling?
Honestly, I'm just more interested in the card. Honestly, if he won it from somebody, does it have history? I'd like to use my artificer's lore if possible.
Okay, artificer's lore. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to a magic item, alchemical objects, or technical devices, you can add twice your proficiency. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll.
All right, so this is my regular hit.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add double my proficiency was +4. So that's going to be a 13.
13. What you're picking up from this is Esmeralda's been owned by 3 other wizards and seems to have been won mostly through wizard battles, which are just show of arcane prowess between 2 wizards in a professional setting. Usually tickets are sold. You also find a poster for a Macho Man who seems to be a dwarven wrestler from the Waterdeep Wrestling Federation. You have no clue where that is. But also, it seems like this was created probably at least 60 years ago by a big team of gnomes led by one whose last name was Shelby.
So I'm basically just reading the pink slip while I dig through the glove compartment.
Pretty much, like it's you're like, I need more time with this thing and need more of it in my life, is kind of the other thing you're getting from this. Well, you also find like a bag of mints that was just in a random pocket.
Ooh. All right, well that's what I'm doing for the next, however long it takes for these guys to get back.
Okay, we'll go to Langston next because I'm sure shopping will not be as difficult as the conversation between a weenie dog and a plague doctor.
Yeah, it won't take long.
What you looking for, Langston? I mean, when you walk in, it's a large, almost two-story building, and it looks like a bunch of small stalls have been set up and tents. Look like it ranged from fishermen and hunters to barbarians that are selling wares.
I'm going to look for maybe, I don't want to say, maybe like some sort of like magical thing, but just maybe a higher quality blade. Just see what they got. I'm just looking for something that could be useful going north.
Going through, you don't see anything that would be better really than your rapier, because you got a rapier and a short sword, right?
That's right.
You don't see anything that's better. I mean, you see a lot of handmade weapons. A lot of these weapons, especially from the Goliaths, are big, heavy weapons like mauls and great axes that you can tell are partially made out of bones of some large, deadly creature or its teeth. You do find a small group of kinku that are kind of, they look very much like ravens or crows, but they kind of have that white speckle pattern starting towards the edge of their faces, and they're in the back, like the very, very back, and it looks like they're getting ready to put up.
I guess I'll go over to the kinku. Say hello.
Hello.
Kind of like to check out what you got.
They just motion to look, and you can see that there's it seems to be just odds and ends that they found. Like there's an odd large marble that's on a little stand. There's a couple of knives. You know, these look like probably they ended up fighting something and getting their daggers, and a couple short swords that are the same way. There's also this kind of weird looking short blade. It's kind of one of those square bladed, like it's got a slight angle to it. One side's the blade, the other side, think kind of like a Viking knife, I guess is the best way. And it had, but yeah, somewhere between there. But the hilt is this gnarled root looking. It's a very organic looking handle that comes to a rounded end that has set within it a bronze bearing, probably at least about as big around as your thumb, that's mounted into the pommel of this thing.
Okay, I'm gonna tap that. I'm gonna say, how much?
And you see it turn to the other ones, and you see them motioning with their hands to each other, and then one of them nods. 50 gold. 50 gold.
I'll pull off the femur and say, how about this?
The finger?
I took a femur from the golem.
So you took a femur. Didn't Izanami take a femur?
Somebody took a middle finger, and I took like
You took the middle finger.
Did I take the middle finger?
I thought you took the middle finger.
Okay, I took the middle finger, so I'll pull off the middle finger. I couldn't remember what I did. It's been a while. Sorry.
You take it out, they look at it, they turn around, and you see them again motioning with their hands. And this kind of really old one that's almost gone completely white, and you can see that one eye's glazed over, just nods. The kinku turns around and just motions with its feathery fingers for you to hand over the finger so it can look at it.
I'll do that.
Okay, it holds it, looks at it. You see it open its beak and go. You just hear like the tap, tap, tap of the beak as it bites on it, then looks at it, turns. The older kinku nods. Yes, yes, yes. And pushes the little short sword towards you, or the large dagger, small short sword to you, and then also pushes forward a satchel that has about 30 gold in it.
Thank you for your time.
Well, come back, please.
Oh, I definitely will. I'll be on the lookout for you go, boys. Have a good one. I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna hunt down Ned Flat and let him look.
Okay. So next we will go to Izanami. Izanami, you walk back in and you can see that all 4 of the dogs and the moose are sitting on the floor at attention in front of Weens. He goes, "You will behave. You will listen to me. If I ask you to do work, you will do. You will be fed twice a day. You will receive scritches from Magic Hand. Am I understood?" When you just hear like a bark of affirmative and then a So what are you doing, Izanami, as you walk into this little dog dominating things definitely bigger than it?
That's impressive. Now that our has concluded, would you be adverse to answering a few questions that I have?
Depends on questions.
You see, I'm looking for someone who speaks about a sickness. They also claim to be a doctor. They also claim to have a cure. Well, more specifically, they claim to be the cure for this sickness. They wear an outfit similar to mine. Have you seen or heard anything of such a person?
It's hard to miss someone dressed like you. But is it the outfit is more green?
No. His robes are black as night, and they seem almost unending.
You see a little smile creep up on the dog's face. I am dog now. I'm colorblind. I can't see green. But yes, we've seen someone come through town that dresses like you. We ran him away.
How long ago?
Month, maybe 2.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to give him a bow and step out of the house.
Okay. So a little bit after you step out, you see Langston come back, and he's got this rather fancy knife with an odd hilt.
Nice knife.
Thanks. When everybody's together, I'm gonna take 15 gold and give everybody else 5 each, and let them know I sold the finger of the golem for it, and everybody help fight. So I want to share the gold.
How much gold was it?
5.
Huzzah!
Nit Flat, I was wondering, I also got this short sword out of the deal. Could you take a look at it for me?
Well, sure. Hold on. And I will pick up the short sword. And if you give me about 10 minutes, I'll do. I can check some stuff out for you.
Oh, great.
All right. I'll take it over and run the detect magic over.
Okay. When you do detect magic, it is a slightly magical weapon. It's lost some of its effectiveness over the years. Like, it seems like if someone worked with it for a while, maybe it could get back to what it once was. But it's definitely a magic item that's been drained, and you get kind of an evocation-y feel from it.
Can I also either roll Arcana to see if I can get a little bit of information on what type of history it might have, or I'll roll history and my artificer's lore?
You definitely can.
So it ends up being a 16.
Okay, with a 16, you can tell that this handle has definitely been infused with magic from some old druid. looking through, you can find some old runes as you kind of polish away some of the grime that's on the blade while examining it. And you can see a maker's mark that are in gnomish runes, or just gnomish letters. And it mentions Weinstein. And you remember that there was an old gnome craftsman and family with that last name that made magical weapons in an age long past. Nowadays, any of their descendants kind of just become like really good jewelers, but they've lost kind of their arcane infusion ability.
Okay. I will hand it back and I'll just say, yep, that is a Weinstein original.
Thank you.
Gnomish druids who used to make weapons, it seemed. And unfortunately, it looks like a lot of the magic has been drained out of it, but it had some sort of evocation magic attached to it. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say probably not. Well, it could either be fire or lightning. Is what I would guess. But it could be any of the elements, honestly.
Thank you. Do you think there's any way to restore it, or?
Like, Arcana check, I guess.
Yep.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. With a 25.
25.
You now know all the magics that have ever magicked. You knew every trick David Copperfield ever did and knew it before him now, Nilvac. That you could freak out David Blaine or Chris Angel without even trying with this Arcana score. But what you know about old weapons is that they can either be infused by a lot of work and care and someone getting to know them, because a lot of old magic weapons, even if they weren't fully sentient, there was a personality to them. So one way would be possibly for the user to interact with the weapon a lot and to kind of bring it back to itself. Or if you found a very large arcane well or reservoir of magical energy, you could basically recharge it, for lack of a better term, like you would plug in a cell phone.
Gotcha. All right, so here's a couple options for you. Use the sword, take care of the sword, and it might have enough juice left in it for it to work its magic still. Or, and this is probably never going to happen, but if you were to find some sort of arcane well upon like a ley line or something and just jam that sucker in, probably would take care of the whole thing for you. At this point, I just suggest some little bit of TLC would be good for it.
I say thank you. I appreciate it. I pick the blade up and I tap him on the shoulder.
Also, was this your card?
Absolutely was.
Now I can think of those stupid bad David Blaine YouTube videos that Kyle showed me. Oh, Lord. So, are you going to take the time to attune to this weapon, Langston?
Oh, definitely. And I'm not only gonna attune to it, but I'm also gonna assume it hasn't been like oiled and cleaned in a while. I'm gonna do that as well.
No, it hasn't. And I'm going to say, over the course of an hour, you realize the blade has kind of a Damascus pattern to it. You can see the family stamp in it. And over the course of 1 hour, you realize that the dagger will allow you to use the cantrip Thorn Whip, along to it just being a regular, sorry, not dagger, but also being a regular short sword.
Nice.
You can tell that this weapon does have some extra abilities to it. You just don't know what they are, and it doesn't seem to know what they are.
I'm gonna call it Vinny, and I'm going to tell him we'll figure that out.
Cool. You can add Vinny, which is just a regular short sword for now. Its damage is magical, so remember that. And it allows you to cast the cantrip Thorn Whip.
Go ahead and add it to my character sheet.
Do you say you will, or are you asking me to?
No, I can do it right now. I'm adding it.
Cool.
Keep going.
Okay, Olabella, after an hour of attuning to Esmeralda, your fingers on the glass orb on the pedestal at the middle, the first thing is you hear in your head, welcome to the self-propelled magical chariot tutorial. What do you wish to call this chariot?
We'll keep the previous name as Esmeralda.
Are you saying that to it, or are you asking the group?
Okay, I'll ask the group. What do you guys want to name them?
It should be something short and sweet that could be screamed out in quick succession.
Langston, is it on me any ideas?
How about Betty?
Ooh.
Betty.
Betty.
I like Betty.
Betty?
We'll paint it black.
It just goes, it acknowledges this chariot will now be known as Betty. What color scheme would you like for the chariot, Betty?
I want to say black, but I wonder if we should go more with a white theme to blend in with the surrounding. What do y'all think?
Sounds good to me.
I want to do white, but Neovac wants black.
Can we do white on the outside but more black on the interior?
Ooh, yeah, that would look cool.
You could do red with white facing strip. Or should we do blue?
We should do white with some blue. On the outside and black on the inside.
Okay. All of y'all notice that the entire interior upholstery and carpeting and curtains all go jet black, mixed with some dark grays, kind of like outlining the edges. If you were to look outside, your carriage is now completely white with some blue detailing where earlier it had been dark red and gold.
Camouflage.
To
Not that I didn't like the previous color scheme.
You can summon this chariot, Betty, with simple commands from outside. While driving, you must touch the scrying driving orb, and you will magically see outside. Whatever way you decide to look is the way the vehicle will move. Remember that as you turn, do not turn your head sharply, or else Betty will flip.
Got it.
You may also carry this small key fob, and you see one float out of the orb in front of you, to summon Betty from distances of 30 miles.
Wow. Okay. I'll take Betty key fob.
You will also have access to these spells while inside Betty once per day. Pass without a trace.
I'll put that down.
Create food or water.
Hang on, let me make a thing for Betty. They pass down trees, create food or water.
Catapult.
Catapult.
And silence.
What was the last one? Silent?
Silence. These spells only affect Betty and those inside Betty. Once you leave, you will not benefit from the effects of said spells.
What does catapult do?
It is a spell that you can have access to. The operating system of this carriage does not know.
Okay, that's cool.
Do you wish to begin driving?
Hang on a sec. I gotta get everybody in here. Guys, I think the carriage is ready.
Novak's going to close the hood and climb on in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop in.
Remember, you can set the climate inside Betty to whatever temperature you desire that does not catch wood on fire or cause metal to break from frost.
75.6 degrees.
Acknowledged. It just becomes very comfortably warm inside the carriage now. Do you wish to begin driving?
Everybody's in and
I'm ready if you are.
I'm gonna stick my head out and say that. Thanks for everything, Dr. Weens. We'll be back soon.
Your dogs are in good hands. Drive safe. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
You too.
You see the little dog back up and you see Mage Hand just push the door closed.
Okay, we're ready to drive.
Place hands on orb.
Okay.
Stare into orb.
Okay.
Okay, instantly, Olabella, you now can see your companions sitting on seats that are kind of invisible to you. So you can still interact and hear them and listen to them. You just don't see the rest of the carriage now. You just see the entire environment around you.
Well, this is weird, eh?
To go forward, just think forward.
Forward.
Okay, so more or less, Olabella, as long as you're thinking it, the carriage will move that way, but you turn it by looking. So do you gun it, or is this going to be like a very slow start?
We're not gonna gun it right out the gate because we're still in town, so we're gonna kind of get used to this and start moving out of town and start moving northeast.
Okay.
So once we're a little bit out of town, maybe we can start trying to pick it up.
Okay, so the bunny is y'all's token. You know you gotta go to the northeast. Once you make it to the edge of the town, Olabella, do you decide to gun it? Also, do the rest of the party, or like you just hear the engine, and definitely Nelvac, you know this thing can really scoot. Are you going to encourage her to gun this thing?
I'll inform Olabella that this thing's got a Hemi in it, and this thing can move.
Okay, maybe not Senate, but we'll definitely start opening her up a little bit, see if we can go up.
From underneath the floor, y'all hear this deep, throaty roar of the arcane engine, and y'all start shooting off at least 3 times faster than the dogs were carrying you.
Oh, jeez.
If anybody was standing, give me a dexterity throw, or saving throw.
There's a chair by the orb that I'm sitting in, right?
You're sitting there, there's seats at the front and at the back. There's enough room in here to sleep comfortably. Everybody on part of the cushions. And it's nice and warm. Langston, you save.
Yay.
Novak has had enough experience with falling out of this thing. He had secured himself before this thing moved.
I'm also, while we're going, I'm going to sit, Polish, and Vinny, and just telling him the story of everything that's happened so far. Like he's at the, like he can talk back.
That is really wholesome, yet terrifying at the same time. Everybody in here except Olabella, because she's focusing on driving, give me a perception check. Okay, so you all find something. You're all going to find something no matter what. It was just see who got the highest. Langston, you see the little area that looks like there could be a bar. And when you step up to it, this little image of a glass forms, and all of a sudden an actual glass manifests. And the beverage that you think of forms within it.
I give myself a mint julep.
Just instantly forms right in front of you in this little glass. And it is absolutely delicious.
Delicious. I also give a little bit to Vinny, like just a little drop.
You actually watch it absorb into the blade. Okay, Nilvac with an 18. You find that when you press on the seat, it actually folds out into a bed just the length for you. And if you lay on it, it's the exact comfort level that you want. This thing has a Tempur-Pedic bed in it, apparently.
This was the best purchase that we could have found.
Izanami, you find that there's because there's cabinets above all the seats, and as you look through them, there's blankets, of course, there's some pillows, there's other little things, just little knickknacks throughout it. Like someone left a half-eaten like canvas sack of fried potato crisps. But at the front, you open up one, and it looks like a cylindrical metal cone that underneath it there's a button.
So you said pillows and blanket. Exactly how many pillows?
Enough to completely fill this place with a pillow fort if you wished.
Done.
Okay, you're not going to mess around with the metal cone and the button?
I'm gonna put it next to Langston.
The cone and the metal button are inside a cabinet and can't be moved.
You called me over there, though.
Langston, you're tall. Look at this. I found a thing.
I walk over there. Go ahead.
Should I push it?
Yeah, why not? I mean, there's not going to be anything in here that's going to hurt us. Yeah, I would think it.
Do you press the button, Izanami?
It's my better get. Novak, can you come look at something? I need you to look at this. We found a thing.
Oh, well, I am interested in things, so sure.
Inside the cabinet, there is a metal cone with a button underneath it.
Is the cone like taper at the top, or does it like expand toward the top?
It expands towards the top, and the cone is pointed towards you, and the button is underneath it.
All right, I will hit the button.
You hit the button?
Yeah.
Okay, I need Nilvac, Langston, and Izanami to give me a dex save real quick. Okay, Nilvac, you're able to grab onto the cabinet itself after you press the button. Izanami and Langston, you're going to be knocked prone as from this metal cone is expelled a noise so loud, and it stays loud, and it's filling the entire cabin just at this ear-splitting noise of and it just keeps playing almost the same series of like maybe a dozen notes on a horn repeatedly playing.
What did you guys do?
I did this, and I pushed the button again.
It gets louder.
Well, stop doing that, or do it again. I don't know. Make it stop.
Is there a volume button or a dial or anything else on this? Is it just a...
Okay, give me a perception check at disadvantage because you're literally pulling yourself up and looking in with this thing blaring at you. Okay, with a 12, you find that there's a little knob next to this button that seems like you can twist it sideways.
I twist it sideways.
The volume goes down to a manageable level, but it does not seem to stop. It is. You have now been introduced to the endless Chuck Mangione soundtrack.
I blame all of you.
So there is just this kind of slow, jazzy trumpet playing the same 12 notes repeatedly coming from the speaker. And even the lowest volume, you can all still hear it.
You should never have been allowed to watch any of it.
And that's where we will end tonight's session since it is 10 p.m.
Okay. Good. That was great. Good to get back. Feels good to get back into some team.
It does. Hopefully we can keep this going on for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream for the night. Em, if you want to do the honors for us with Kyle's line.
Don't let you meet love.
Night, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in.